Hello, thanks for stopping by. This video is part of my Best Farm series. Today I'm showing you a wheat farm, and I feel this farm is the best of all the wheat farms out there. What makes this farm great is it's easy to construct, it's reliable, and it doesn't include a lot of redstone. If you have any other farms that you want to nominate, just comment below or tweet them with the hashtag #FizediBestFarms. We're standing here in front of the shopping list of all the items you'll need to build this farm, so let's just look into the chest here. This is what we'll need. I won't go through them individually, you can have a look. I'll put the list down in the comments, or we can just do a screen capture here. But these are all the items you'll need. The glowstone and the comparator. You will need to visit the nether for that. So if you haven't been to the nether, you can use other forms of lighting, and there are ways of not having the fancy collection system, so you don't need the comparator. So if you haven't been to the nether, you can still build this farm. Okay, so let's start looking at the construction of the farm. The first thing you need to do is dig a 9x9 and 2 deep hole with a 5x2x2 hole at the end, which will be for our unloading station. If you have a look at the minecart here, when it gets to the end, it loops back onto itself. There is some tricks about setting that up, so we will have a look at that in the next clip.
So when you're setting up for the return of the minecart, there's a rule that Minecraft uses when a minecart gets to a T-intersection to determine which way it will go. And it will always favour the southeast direction. So if you have a look at these two minecarts here, they're both exiting out of the bottom of the T intersection towards the south. So, and then one's going clockwise, one's going anti-clockwise. So if we set them on their way, we'll see that they will go around and come back. And that works the way that we want it to work. So we can loop around and come back and continue the loop. And the same for this one over here, which is returning towards the east. So if you look at my little compass up there, that direction is east. If we set him on his way, he goes around the loop and then heads back towards the east. Now, obviously, these two here are going in the wrong direction. This one, we want to exit north, but they always exit towards the southeast, so south in this case. When we push that button, away he goes, and he just exits south and goes around until he runs out of momentum. And the same for this one. This one, we want to go west, but he'll want to go east. So when we send him on the way, he goes around in circles. So when you're making your rails in this particular design, you just need to make sure that when it comes to this intersection here, that the way you want it to continue on is in the southeast, either the south or the east direction. So if you build it like this and we're facing north, so with that there and the unloading bay over here to the bottom left, you should be right to go. So this is the unloading station that we'll use to unload the minecart. The minecart is just running around in a little circle up here in the mini rails. So it comes in here, it sits over the top of this hopper and will unload its contents into this chest over here. So we just go over and have a quick look at how this works. The minecart comes on top of the hopper is pointing into that chest. When the items are unloading, the comparator here picks up a signal, so it switches on, which will power this block, which in turn will turn off this torch, which will unpower this block, which will unpower this repeater, which will unpower this block here, which will unpower the powered rail. So whilst it's unloading, that powered rail is unpowered, so the minecart will sit there. When the last item goes out through here, the whole process is reversed, powering that rail, which will then set the minecart on its way. So it's quite easy. Like I mentioned before, if you haven't been to the nether, the comparator will be impossible for you to get. So you can just have a line of hoppers, maybe 5 or 6 of them with rails over the top of them, and the cart will go over them and unload as it's going over them. It's not the perfect solution. It might not unload everything in one go, but probably the next time it will. So if you can't set up this redstone section here, just have a line of hoppers going into a chest with the rails over the top, and that should suffice. So the next stage is to build the ground and the walls, so our villager won't escape and he'll have something to plant on. So I shall quickly do that. Okay, now that that's all set up, there's just two more things we have to do in this section. The first is to put in the glowstone over the water here. So the simplest way to do that is just put a block here, then glowstone and glowstone. Remove that block, and preferably not the one next to it, and then just retilt those. And that will provide enough lighting. Now, if you don't have the glowstone, you can use any blocks here, but you will have to put lighting around the edge just to help with the crops growing and to keep any zombies out. The other thing we need to do is to put in a door so we can get in and out. Just one extra thing about where we built our glowstones over there. You need to put two on top of each other if you don't have a roof over the farm. Otherwise, if you only have a single glowstone, your farmer will jump up on top and sort of slack off a little bit. Also, the other thing that can happen is your farmer can get struck by lightning. And if that happens, he will turn into a witch. So there is ways to put a roof over the top to prevent that. You will need to just search the internet because I think you need to put it about 6 or 7 blocks above to stop the lightning strike. So the last thing we've got to do now is to give our villager some seeds so he'll go out and plant them. So we'll just do that now. We'll sneak in here with him and I will throw the seeds at him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he would have picked all those up. Yep, there's the last one. And 8. And he's picked them up as well. And the one thing you'll notice now, he seems to have lost interest in us and he's more interested in the ground behind. Just to make sure, we'll throw one more stack of seeds on him. And he should just leave those be. So you can see he's not picking them up. So we'll have them back. Now, because he's interested in the ground over here, if you're a bit of a thrill seeker, you can just let him out. Open up this door and he'll work out how to get in there. And once he's in, he'll start planting away. So we're going to help him by planting some seeds also. You can just let him do it, but you do have to remember that you have to replenish every bit of seed that he plants because you don't want any empty inventory slots in his inventory because that can become corrupted with the wheat. And if he gets wheat in there, that sort of messes the whole thing up and he'll stop farming. So let's just do that. Okay, so the one other thing is we'll throw these seeds at him. And he got in the way, but you can see we picked up 49. So he replenished his stock and now he is ready to go. He will sit there and wait for the crops to grow, and then he'll start harvesting them and the minecarts will pick them up. Just popping back to have another look at the villager here. One thing to keep in mind is you can't build your village too close, or your farm too close to another farm, because it will distract him. He wants to go over there and plant the seeds. I'm just going to speed this one up a little bit. This is about 30 times normal speed. Just to see him go around and harvest. So he probably won't behave as well as you would experience in your farm because he is distracted. You can see there's some wheat right behind him there, but he's more interested in our farm we built over there. If I went over and trampled all the dirt, he'd lose interest. So eventually he will come to. So the distance between is about 70 blocks. If you make them 70 blocks apart, you'll be safe. Some say 64, some say 68. Let's just say 70 to be safe. Okay, and there he is. He's finally worked out that he's got a job to do here, and he's harvesting his crops. So he will go on doing that. The minecart is running around underneath. That'll pick everything up and bring them to the unloading station. Well, that's it for the farm. It's all built over there. The output is 106 wheat per hour and around about 70 seeds per hour. You'd probably filter the seeds out because we don't really have too much use for them. So that's what I got with testing over a few hours. You may get more or less depending on what's going on around it. So, but not bad, but just in case you want a bit more wheat than 106, we've got this one over here. So this farm is actually tileable. So you can put them side by side, and here we've got basically 9 farms side by side. We've got a team of 10 villagers going through and harvesting everything. And the rail underneath, we can go down and have a look. Now we've got an item elevator here. The rails underneath. He's currently unloading. They take 3 minutes for a return trip. So that's okay because it's within the despawn time. So 3 minutes to make a return trip. Comes over here, the items go up the item elevator. I'm using 1.8, so this item elevator still works. Although we've got something stuck there, but you may lose a few. And we have some chests full of items. So the output of this particular farm is 956 wheat per hour and 600 odd seeds per hour. This would have to be enough for just about anyone. So if that isn't enough, I don't know what is. So that's it for the farm. If you've got any better wheat farm ideas, let me know in the comments and I'll have a look and see if they're qualified to knock this one off the throne. If you like this video, please hit the like button, it helps me a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. If you do know who originally designed this farm, let me know and I'll add them to the credits. It has been around for a while, so it's a bit hard to work out who was the original person who came up with it. And please subscribe to my channel for notifications of any upcoming videos. Any other ideas for farm tutorials, drop me a tweet including Fizedi Best Farm or message below. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.